Technically speaking, SAP is a kind of product which you have been working for quite a some time. You might have understood this is different from other products. So
Yeah,
this
correct.
has flexibility of customizing the product to your needs. Like
Mm-hmm.
earlier softwares are not customizable. They are only rigid to what a particular functionality is being devised for. And
Mm-hmm.
once it is designed and delivered, you have to use the software. There is no other way.
Correct.
And later they have come tools. Tools are something which are also softwares, but they make our job easy digitally. If you are working in a digital world,
Mm-hmm.
to meet our regular needs, what we do is we just have to use the tool and make our job faster and automate that particular job which we don't have to do it every day. This is what we actually called it as a tool, right? Wherever
Yeah,
we are working in our
correct.
IT world. Yeah.
Very good.
So
Correct.
SAP is something that is a mix of both these things, which is a
Mm-hmm.
software that works on some particular standards, and it is also a tool that which we can customize the particular standard to our business requirements, isn't it? So it is a mix,
Correct.
and it is particularly a product. Some call it as a package, some call it as a product. So, since you are already into functional things, I may not need to explain you what in integration mean by how do we communicate from one particular like functional area to another functional area. One thing that SAP actually stand out of all the other products is that it is very strong in its integration. That
Mm-hmm.
is why we have this logo of SAP having a particular ripples that are generated out of water. If you go to an SAP logo, if you see anywhere, what does it actually stand by? So if you see that, there is a water body that is displayed in blue color, and there is a ripple that is generated out of a drop, isn't it?
Mm.
You have
Yeah,
seen this logo many times in SAP. So
correct.
what does
Yeah.
it actually mean by? So that means if you make a change anywhere in the system, it will reflect the change in everywhere possible, wherever that change needs to be made. That is what
Yeah.
its integration actually symbolizes its logo, what it is
Mm-hmm.
actually doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So technically we have ABAP, we have PI, and functionally we have SAP SD, MM, FICO, FICA, banking modules, EM
Mm-hmm.
modules, event management modules, and we also have another two different products that are coming out of SAP, which is CRM and APO. Nowadays we
Mm-hmm.
have come across Hybris. There are many high-end products that are coming up.
Yeah.
And also technically nowadays we have been also listening and hearing about SAP HANA, which is a
Mm-hmm.
different product that is mix of database and also coding and other stuff. Like it's a product which is a mix of database and also it is a mix of customization, right? Where we can design
Right.
our total tables and other stuff. So that is one
Mm-hmm.
part. And also technically now we are also coming into UI5 where they are scrapping this WebDyn Pro objects, which a front
Mm-hmm.
end needs more of user experience, where they can come up with more digital experience and user friendly screens, because WebDyn Pro is something that has very rigid SAP old kind of boring background, right?
Yeah.
But now UI5 is something that we can design our front end however the user likes it to make them more attractive. It's not about getting attractive things to the system, but mostly it is about getting the front end to an open platform where SAP has not done it earlier since some 2013 or 2014. It has not
Correct.
gone into open platforms. From
Mm-hmm.
then, we have started SAP getting into open platform. So SAP UI5 is something that is open to the system where we can design our front end and also we can integrate with the backend. And nowadays, SAP is also integratable with other systems like any other front end system, whether it is a Java screen that is like whether it is any UI screen that is developed out of Java or JSpring or anything, where we can see
Mm-hmm.
the screen, it can be integrated to SAP. How is that being done? Earlier, we have something to communicate to other systems. We have something like iDocs or we have something like RFCs every time, right?
Yeah.
Now, these remote function modules and other stuffs nowadays they have been converted to something like OData services. If you have seen OData or heard about OData, so
Yeah,
OData
I've
is
heard
something
about it,
that,
but don't
yeah,
know much
OData
about
is
it.
something, yeah, we will cover that up also because
Okay.
since you are looking to actually talk to technical people, there might be
Mm.
cases where you have to uh, talk to a person based on front end and back end also, right?
Correct. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
very
he
much.
might also give you something related to OData. We will cover that also, where
Okay.
OData is also handled.
Yeah.
So that would
Okay.
actually help you better in understanding what can OData give you out of SAP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is what how system talks to one system talk to other system. Both can be SAP systems. Both can be like one system can be SAP, one can be a non-SAP system, or
Mm-hmm.
anything that can be integrated or established a connection between for communication of data. This is what
Okay.
as SAP actually does, and it has been doing over a period of time. So
Okay.
this is a overview. Like I think you know most of everything that whatever I have spoken so far, isn't it?
Yeah. At least I heard
Like
about
at
it. Yeah.
least you might have heard of all these things that are
Yeah.
coming up in the market as of now.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
So one thing that actually you have to drill down your understanding in SAP is that let's do something. We will drill down the concepts of what you need to go through in understanding a system. Okay.
Okay.
So first thing is data dictionary. Okay, I'll send you the format. I'll send you the file to your mail
Okay.
ID or any common mail ID we share. So one
Mm-hmm.
thing is data dictionary that you should understand at a very basic level when you have to understand a technical aspect of SAP.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is about report programming.
Okay.
So reports can be of many forms nowadays. They have been classical reports, or they can be ALVs, or they can be also reports that are generated out of some files. When you go into the
Mm-hmm.
system, run something, and it generates a file, and it gets suddenly downloaded into your presentation layer. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
SAP can also give you the privilege of downloading the files from your system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is file sharing or reports in the form of files, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is also something you might have heard of application layer in SAP.
Yeah.
So application layer is something that file exchange can be done from one system to other system, where you don't need to send any file manually. File gets placed into the application server, and from there the file gets transmitted based on the person how he is configuring the file transmission. Or
Okay.
any middleware can communicate to the application layer and it
Mm-hmm.
can pick up the files.
Okay.
Yeah. And third thing you need to know about is forms. I think
Okay.
this plays a major role because you might have seen invoices or any kind of, this is just an example I'm saying about invoice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you have seen about invoices or any other kind of documents that are generated out of SAP, like
Mm-hmm.
someone wants to see a file, or you might have someone is looking for a bank statement, for example,
Mm-hmm.
talking in law terms.
Mm-hmm.
Someone goes to the front end and he will log into your particular bank credentials of his own, and then he will
Mm-hmm.
try to look into the statement. A PDF gets generated.
Yeah.
That PDF you might download it and use it. But every
Correct.
bank statement will not be of same format, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you might go to a supermarket and he might generate a bill out of his purchase, and
Mm-hmm.
the particular person who is at the billing counter can generate a bill that is generated out of SAP if they are using SAP systems. That particular invoice or billing system uh,
Mm-hmm.
has a particular format, because these are all not SAP for standard formats, right? They are all
Mm-hmm.
customized. because if
Correct.
I'm having my invoice, I make it as beautiful as I want, and I make my brand to be displayed more prominent in the invoice, and I make
Correct.
all the details visible so that the customer
Mm.
doesn't have to go through the bill, and
Mm.
I'll make my customer more comfortable looking at the bill, isn't it? How
Right.
much discount
Yeah.
is applied, how much GST is applied, how much, like whatever has been the calculation, you'll be able to understand.
Mhm.
Some
Correct.
places, like some people will have the total that should be displayed at the top. Some people needs the total to be displayed at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and some people wants the calculations to be at particular place. And how you
Correct.
are designing this layout, this is all into SAP forms.
Yeah.
If someone is looking at any kind of document that is generated out of SAP, how the document is generated and how the inputs are being taken, they are all
Mm-hmm.
into SAP forms.
Correct.
There are mostly nowadays they are using Adobe forms. We'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about them much, and I'll also give a little brief explanation about smart forms and scripts.
Mm-hmm.
Scripts are almost obsolete. They are now not used at all, to be very honest. And smart forms are now used, not very much or not completely obsolete as of now. They are
Mm-hmm.
used in our daily life in SAP daily life. They are now in place. They might also get obsolete down the line, maybe another 1 or 2 years. I think some couple of years more, SAP is not going to support smart forms also, because they
Okay.
are insisting people to use Adobe forms.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is about forms. We'll cover mostly about Adobe forms,
Mm-hmm.
and also browse through browse smart forms and scripts. So all these three are forms only. You can generate invoices out of any of these three, any document out of these three. But prominently, it would be Adobe Forms, which makes more user-friendly and developer-friendly forms, and also the visibility of these forms and options that we have got. Because the smart forms will not be scripts; they completely cannot display any barcodes and QR codes nowadays,
Okay.
because all of the forms are any PDF that is generated is nowadays having a QR code and is nowadays having a barcode.
Yeah.
Smart forms has barcodes, and Adobe Forms mostly has QR codes, barcodes, and any kind of latest options that we have built. Because Adobe Forms are something that are integrated with Adobe, because Adobe is the PDF that gets upgraded every time as per market standards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So whatever version of Adobe they are using, Adobe Forms are generated.
Okay.
So if the particular system, SAP system, is integrated with the latest version of Adobe software, then you should be comfortable to use any latest option in SAP also for generating a PDF.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we have to mostly look into after these forms is enhancements, which would be most part of your daily need. How to customize your system technically, because
Mm-hmm.
at a particular functional point of view, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you might end up in a question, there is no point, there is no way we can customize it, and we need some technical help to customize this from a technical point, right?
Yeah.
Most of the customizations happen. They might find out or talk about user exits,
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Mm.
customer exits, implicit enhancements, and also they might talk about baddies,
Correct.
which you must be listening mostly every day.
Yes. Yeah.
Baddies, and they might also talk about, if you have also seen this BT is something latest.
Mm. Yes. Yeah.
These are mostly related to finance module, where they use a particular set of enhancement framework, to
Mm-hmm.
customize your system more better. So we will deal each of them with one short example so that you
Sure.
will understand its working and how this is actually identified. Okay.
Okay.
And also, if you have to standardize a system or, sorry, if you have to customize a system to your needs, what kind of customization options technically you will be
Mm-hmm.
able to find out
Mm-hmm.
from a system. If you
Mm-hmm.
are using some T codes, just
Mm.
give me one basic T code that you would be using in everyday life. Uh, Maybe any kind of transaction. I think, have you ever been to VA01 to
Which is
see
it?
an VA01 invoice?
No, VA01,
Like,
no.
sorry, sales order.
No, 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 no. Because we
Or have
don't
you
look
gone?
at.
Yeah,
Hmm.
have you ever gone to VF01? Maybe a billing document or something?
No, no.
Okay.
What we do is all your, banking thing, right? So it's all start from BCA underscore, um,
Yes, yeah.
like that.
Any
Yeah.
kind of thing that you are doing it in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
So, for
Yeah.
example, if the transaction doesn't make any difference, the working of SAP remains the same, whatever transaction it is. So, if you are looking for a custom like a particular screen or something,
Mm-hmm.
so let's go to particular VS01 screen.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll give up some. This is nothing but creating a sales order, which I'm talking about in a sales point of view. Okay.
Okay.
So a customer has put up an order
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to create an order in the system.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing but creating a sales order.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to create something. I want to order something.
Mm-hmm.
In SAP, this is how a sales order is being created. So for
Okay.
example, I might order anything
Mm-hmm.
based on credit memo, debit memo, sale. You might be like listening to these kind of words, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So just let's do something which is more normal one, some internet order.
Mm-hmm.
Because even I'm new to this system, I just get have to get habituated. I don't know
Okay. No
what
problem.
sales organizations, what order types are also in this. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to create something
Mm-hmm.
as an internet order. So sold to party and ship to party are nothing but the customer numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. So you might uh, actually come up with some kind of you have a requirement. For example, let's work it out normally. Okay. I'm just entering some country.
Mm-hmm.
Country code is 80. So I just found a customer who is
Mm-hmm.
this person. Okay. The product is being sold and shipped to the same party. Okay.
Okay.
So he is tagged to two sales organizations. That is not our headache as of now. In detail, if we have
Mm-hmm.
to use this, I'm selecting some order reason. Okay. See, as soon as I enter these details,
Mm-hmm.
we have seen that these payment terms have come.
Yeah.
This Inco terms have come. The pricing date is actually been decided that today is the
Mm-hmm.
pricing date of this particular customer because it has been
Mm-hmm.
ordered today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And for example, if I'm ordering some material, any
Mm-hmm.
material that is for the sake of ordering. So I'm ordering a material which is of, sorry, there is an error because this doesn't match to this particular customer. Let's see if what this customer is actually linked to. He is 6020 sales order, sales office is 2400. Yeah, so his sales data is 2400. Let's
Mm-hmm.
try to find out some material that is in 2400.
Okay.
any of the material that is been linked here. Okay. So as
Okay.
soon as I entered this material name, I've got details from master data. So date proposal is not possible. This is something the system configuration has. So if you have seen the details as of now, hello,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I can hear
So
you. Yeah.
if I'm ordering an internet order and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just giving this customer, and his
Mm-hmm.
customer is related to out of Milan or Italy, one is cross
Mm-hmm.
division and another is test division. So we are selecting cross division. Order reason we are actually selecting. Okay. So these are
Yeah.
all order reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you are
Mm-hmm.
using an order reason and you are giving
Mm-hmm.
something, so it is popping up some details, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
So first date is this, the plant is this, and order reasons or everything of this sort, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there can be, so for example, if this particular order is been there, and let's come up with a requirement, uh,
Mm-hmm.
hypothetically maybe. So if I am seeing that this particular material is being ordered by this customer, and
Mm-hmm.
all the time this particular customer wants this item category to be something else,
Mm-hmm.
okay, as a standard. He doesn't want the system to determine. He has
Mm-hmm.
something as instead of TAN, he wants it to be CAN or something all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or based on some conditions, based on the particular sold to party or ship to party or particular date or material type or any other factors, he wants the item category not to be decided by the master data setup, but to be decided based on his custom requirements. Okay.
Okay.
So something of that sort, if we wanted to decide anything like that, so what does we actually have to do? There is no other way. We cannot configure this, right? Because this is all of a totally customizable requirement.
Yeah.
Nobody can do this sort of a system. So in that cases, what we would come up is like enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
You can identify some user exits, you can identify some customer exits, you can identify some enhancement, baddies or BTs,
Mm.
or even sometimes how the requirements would be is like if I'm there was one strange requirement that I have come across from a client that there are too many order reasons that are configured in the system.
Okay.
There are about 100 of order reasons that are configured in the system,
Mm-hmm.
and in particular client feels that or business user feels that all these order reasons they are displayed here are directly from one order reason table.
Yeah.
Every order reason that is in the system will be displayed here.
Correct.
He doesn't want it this way.
Mm-hmm.
He says that in my country or in my particular, for me, only few order reasons are applicable.
Correct.
Maybe out
Okay.
of 100, a 10 order reasons would be applicable, or 5 or a handful of order reasons are required for me. And I am feeling it very difficult to search it from the system every
Yeah.
time. Where is
Mm-hmm.
my particular order reason is?
Mm-hmm.
So he said that I want this particular search help, the drop down. Whenever I enter a sold to party 1800,
Mm-hmm.
this particular customer should like only order reasons of that particular customer should be picked out of this drop down. It should not display
Mm-hmm.
anything else. Either
Mm-hmm.
5 or 10 or 7 or 8, whatever this particular sold to party or a customer is related to.
Yeah. When you say related to, maybe that customer, particular customer is from, say, Spain. So
Yeah, only
every
orders at Spain
thing related to, yeah, every order reason which could be applicable to Spain region will be displayed there, is what you're
will be
saying.
displayed there. Yes.
Okay.
Other
Okay.
than that, there he doesn't want any of these drop downs to be
Okay.
displayed. So
Okay.
any requirement of that sort has come. How do we actually do it?
Okay.
like how do we do it is feasible or not? How can we actually
Okay.
go into the system to see
Mm-hmm.
what kind of options that SAP has to do this customization and other stuff. And
Okay.
sometimes uh, every time a order quantity is being ordered, okay,
Mm-hmm.
system maybe he will enter quantity as one or two or anything, he just
Mm-hmm.
orders it.
Mm-hmm.
And there can be some price that is generated out of it, right? Some
Correct.
active price date, that is this is the pricing date, whatever is the
Mm-hmm.
price on this date, we are liable to the customer to bill him only on that price, isn't
Correct.
it?
Yeah.
There can be some custom requirements where user would say, no, my price determination should not happen based
Mm-hmm.
on this. I will have a 15 days of agreement with you. Whenever I create an order, it should at least consider the price that is determined on the first half of every month. Whether even I'm ordering on 30th, because there is a requirement between a client and the uh, customer and the seller, that stating that every month on the first week of month or the starting of the month, they will
Mm-hmm.
give them a quotation that these
Correct.
are the prices that we are actually offering to you.
Okay.
Throughout the month he should be able to order those prices only at that particular price.
Okay.
Okay, so these prices are determined on first of every month.
Okay.
So maybe this is only particular to few uh, golden customers or valued customers which we generally have in our everyday business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not to every customer. Other customers will have live prices which can change every day.
Yeah.
They might increase or decrease. So for
You're right.
example, in your banking terms, if you are talking about,
Mm-hmm.
you might actually give them loan at particular interest rate,
Correct. Yes.
but that active interest rate on that particular day would be something else.
Yes. Okay.
You might be tied up with a particular limited organization, or you might be tied up with a particular firm where you're offering loans to their particular employees at a slighter less rate, right?
Yes.
How is that being customized in your system? If there is no standard customization available, how you are going to achieve that functionality in your system to
Mm-hmm.
automate it to only those particular customers?
Okay.
Like, does that make sense to you in your business terms?
Yes. Yes. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So this is how these enhancements are handled.
Okay.
What do you mean by actually an enhancement?
Mm. Okay.
And the third thing is mostly interfaces.
Mm-hmm.
So you must be interacting
So,
with many systems, many
Prakash,
countries, many servers. Hello, sorry.
yeah, Prakash just wanted to think. So, going forward, maybe you will also tell me about what is the difference between a user exit or a customer exit,
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
a,
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Fine. That's
that
good.
difference should be actually identified when we are talking to a particular technical consultant or a functional
Correct.
consultant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what could be the difference between all these things is more priority, most
Yeah.
important thing, because
Yeah.
each one of it has its own advantages.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
If I'm having an implicit enhancement, I would not choose a customer exit or a user exit. So
Okay.
the order in which I have mentioned here is actually the order of choice, how you have to actually choose.
Choose.
If I
Okay.
have a
Okay.
BD, I won't go for a baddie.
Okay.
If I have a baddie, I won't go for an enhancement. If I have an enhancement, I don't want to go for a customer exit. If I have a
Mm-hmm.
customer exit, I never will go for a user exit.
Okay.
This is how it is actually been there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is in
Okay.
like ascending order of the best way.
Mm-hmm.
So then interfaces. Interfaces are basically one thing that you have come up every day in your communication towards technical consultants is BAPIs.
Okay.
BAPIs are something that communicate data from one system to other system. Like,
Okay.
just to give a baseline, as of now we are discussing about the topics what we would be covering.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. BAPIs is something that It is communication that it can like communicate from one system, one SAP system to other SAP system, or also one external system to this SAP system. Okay,
Mm. Okay.
BAPIs are standards. BAPIs are mostly standard function modules that SAP has
Mm-hmm.
given to create a
Mm-hmm.
sales order. For example, you are talking about a sales order, or to create a customer, or to create a master data, something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Some other system from somewhere, he has a different front end which is working on Java,
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying to create a customer, or he's trying to create a loan account, or he's trying to create a savings account.
Mm-hmm.
He will just enter everything on his front end and he will just click create. If every validation has been successful, the particular account gets created, right?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So how is this data being actually transmitted? For example, if you have entered some data on the system, maybe some screen is there where you have privilege to enter particular kind of savings account. Maybe you have 10 different types of savings account. When you have entered that, or sometimes all the privileges would be auto applied, right? You don't fill each and every field.
Mm-hmm.
Once you just fill
Correct.
and click enter, it pulls data from SAP system and it will fill it in the front end screen, right?
Yes.
How is it filling this? How is it getting data? Since it is a different system and that is a different system, how is this data communication actually happening between these two systems?
Okay.
These are called interfaces to communicate data. Once these
Okay.
interfaces are being established, basically what we communicate is through BAPIs.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to actually transmit information in the form of IDOCs, which we
Okay.
generally come across every day. IDOCs are something, these are also some information carriers like BAPIs and BADIs, but these have a different role in SAP. Why SAP? Why BAPIs and why IDOCs? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
BAPIs are just on the go, mostly used for front-end purposes.
Okay.
Okay. IDOCs are something that are not mostly for front-end purposes. There are cases where they would use it for front-end also, but IDOCs are something that are not directly working on the go. Okay,
Okay.
they just create something in the system
Yeah.
and they will process it at a later stage based upon the queue.
Okay.
So it is like creating some work in the form of a packet,
Mm-hmm.
and there are 10 packets in the queue. Each one gets serviced one by one, like first come first serve.
Okay.
Okay, if there is a process that is being hit like multiple times, so
Okay.
thousands and thousands of times every day every customer uses it,
Okay.
you cannot use a BAPI or something, because every time you cannot run the same program on the go, isn't it?
Okay. Yes.
Because
Yes. Yes.
that
You're right.
creates a heavy load on the system. What they do is they'll go for a IDOC, where this
Okay.
IDOC can create a piece of work, some logical unit of work, or some data packet that is
Mm-hmm.
transmitted from an external system to SAP. And
Okay.
this external packet of work will actually be processed at a later stage when the system is free to
Free to process it.
complete work, isn't it?
Correct. Yes.
This is
Absolutely.
how an IDOC works.
Okay.
And there is
Okay.
another interface also
So
which is
if
used for
we
reporting.
yeah, yeah, sorry to interrupt. So if
Yeah, yeah,
we
carry on.
take so if we take an example of an IDOC, maybe you can take an example from the sales order perspective only. Okay. How would that be? I mean, a BAPI and a sales and an IDOC.
Yes. So I'll just give you two examples.
Okay.
One is something like creating a sales order.
Okay.
A creation of a sales order can happen multiple times, right?
Correct. Yes. Exactly.
Okay. A front-end particular customer would call this particular sales order, like
Mm-hmm.
he'll create a sales order. Okay.
Okay.
And
Yes.
creation of a sales order can be done from front-end mostly.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. It can just create on the go, right? You don't need to wait for creation of a sales order. Once this particular system has been done, That
Yeah.
particular sales order will be like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yes, this particular your order has been successful. For example, if you're
Yes.
creating something in Mintra or Amazon, you're trying
Correct.
to
Yeah.
order something, it is nothing
Mm-hmm.
but a sales order in SAP system.
Exactly. Yeah.
What does it do? As in when you create order now, it will create an order.
Yes.
It will say that your order has been successful and this is your order number.
Exactly. Yeah.
Similarly, it creates a sales order and the sales order number is nothing but your order number.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Just in case if you are trying to create an service request,
Mm.
okay, and you are trying to create some inquiry or you are trying to communicate because nowadays user can
Yeah. For
create any
example,
kind of
say.
request, right?
For, yeah. For example, if I say what would be the tax on this particular
Yeah.
order.
Okay,
Mm.
order, or you are trying to create something has gone wrong with your account or something has
Mm.
gone wrong with your order in sales perspective. Okay,
Okay.
or
Mm-hmm.
in banking terms you have been charged more from your
Yes.
account for a
Yeah.
particular transaction more than what you're supposed to be. Okay,
Correct. Okay.
some person will raise up a request in his normal portal where you give him the privilege to raise a request.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, and as and when you create a request it will say this particular request has been created. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
how many sales orders get created every day? In the same way there would be double the number of sales orders that double the number of requests when we compare to a sales order, isn't it?
Correct. Yes.
In your banking terms normally, because if the number of savings accounts that can be opened a day would
Mm.
be very minimal. I think it may not be more than 1 or 2% of the service request that a bank is getting every day.
Exactly. Yeah. That will be
Okay.
exponential. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, if you are creating that and every time you are trying to hit the system continuously,
Yeah.
isn't it? It
Yes.
doesn't actually make sense because the system will be overloaded and all of a sudden it will be like the system is down
Yes.
or something got stuck in the queue, nothing can be done now. It can
Mm-hmm.
arrive at a deadlock where the system have to be refreshed, isn't it?
Correct. Yes.
Nothing of
Right.
that sort has to happen. So in that
Mm-hmm.
case, what it does is it will create an IDOC
Mm-hmm.
with all the details
Yes.
and the service request, your request number is being created and it is processing. The particular
Yes.
team would get assigned to it at a later stage,
Correct. Yeah.
isn't it? In
Yes.
that case, an IDOC would be the best option because just gets created. It doesn't get
Mm.
resolved or
Mm.
it doesn't get the immediate solution to the customer at the front end.
Correct.
Okay, in that case, an IDOC would be the best choice instead of a BAPI. Going down deep into the topic, you might understand the difference more relatively. This
Correct.
is
Yeah.
just a normal example of understanding the difference between these two. But
Sure.
technically and functionally, I would give more prompt examples and explain you how these two things work differently. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yes. Yeah.
And reports or data transmission uh, to an external system, isn't it?
Yes.
Especially to SAP BW for analysis, because you might want to make a bar graph out of all the sales that have been done in your particular region or your particular zone when you are working for a bank, and you need something like the customer is not happy with the reports that are made in
Mm.
normal SAP itself because you are
Correct.
just giving him some flat files
Yeah.
or you are just giving him some ALV report where he just
Mm-hmm.
wants to where he has to go in and see all the details. Suddenly customer says, no, I have an SAP BW system
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to pull down all this data into my SAP system,
Mm-hmm.
into the BW system. Just push all the data from ECC to BW
Mm-hmm.
and I will make reports which are more sensible and which are more analytical out of this
Okay. Yeah.
so that I can use it for my business analysis.
Correct. Yes.
How do we push data from your system to their system,
Mm.
okay, to help
Yes.
them understand the data, okay.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we have also something called as uh, proxies,
Yes. Yeah. Right.
okay, SAP proxies. So SAP proxy is also a form of
Mm.
similar thing, like BAPI,
Mm-hmm.
but BAPI is a more wide thing where one system is like inbound or outbound system is SAP, and the
Mm-hmm.
other system could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have a different middleware other than SAP middleware, which is SAP PI.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But if you are having an SAP PI, proxies are the best way to establish communication between these two. In case
Okay.
if you have PI as a middleware,
Mm-hmm.
SAP has given an option to communicate from ECC to PI and PI to any other external system,
Okay.
or any other external system to PI and PI to SAP. So the
Okay.
data transfer from these two will be happen like using a mediator, which is our middleware, that is SAP PI. Okay.
Okay.
How data comes from ECC to PI and how PI will use it to send it to the other customer is not our
Mm-hmm.
job. Our job is only from ECC to PI, which is
Okay.
a technical consultant role. PI is something which is middleware. And if data has come from an external system, how
Mm.
PI communicates it to your format?
Okay.
Because external system has a different form of sending data and SAP will have a different form of receiving the data.
Mm-hmm.
And it's vice versa, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So SAP proxies are mostly used for communicating to PI system.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you have OData, which is our most used data transmission nowadays.
Mm.
Because this SAP OData is something which communicates to one system to other system, like front end to
Mm-hmm.
back end communication. Like yeah, I have
Okay.
ECC at back end, and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to communicate to the front end system. And
Mm-hmm.
how do front end actually pulls data from ECC?
Mm.
It is generated out of a request.
Mm-hmm.
This and what is mean by request, how URLs work, what is an URI, how this
Mm-hmm.
request and service happens, what is
Mm.
SAP gateway.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain you all these details under OData.
Great. Okay.
Okay, we will try to create one, and I'll see how to create, and I'll show you how the steps are, what steps are involved in creation, and
Mm.
especially how to debug it
Mm.
and how to test a OData service, whether it is giving me the prompt example or not. I'm not
Mm.
sure if our system is capable of the server what they have given is capable of OData, but let's see. I'll talk to Rama and I'll find like sort it out whether this
Okay.
can be handled as a part of our course or not. If the system is capable, then we'll go ahead. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
If not, at least I can give you the prompt understanding of technical details, at least verbally, instead,
Yeah.
if not hands-on. Okay.
Yeah. I
Then
think otherwise, I could get a system which I can share
yeah,
that
let's
for
sort
you.
it out, figure it out once
Yeah.
how it
Yeah.
works
Yeah.
out.
When we come
Then
to it,
we'll see.
we'll look
Yeah.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Once OData is been done, the other thing what we have to focus on as of now, we have done data dictionary, reports, file sharing, and yeah, debugging is one important thing that we will do as and when we create this report programming is done.
Mm-hmm.
We will learn about debugging because that is the base of understanding your everyday job.
Yes. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. How to actually understand SAP terminology, keywords, what a
Mm.
particular statement will do, and how this data transmission happens and other stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And OData is done, and I'll also help you in understanding basics of WebDAN Pro and other normal concepts. Okay.
Okay.
Once if you are working on OData and advanced systems, WebDAN Pro will be obsolete. but still this is in place as of now. We should not neglect understanding this WebDen Pro also, how this WebDen Pro works, how to actually debug in WebDen Pro, how to understand its
Okay.
screen and MVC architecture and other stuff. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
let's see if we can work out these two concepts optionally,
Mm-hmm.
and mostly talking to a technical consultant, your
Mm.
most areas of concentration should be these,
Yeah.
because
Right.
understanding the system in technical perspective would be
Mm-hmm.
mainly these concepts.
If you like our videos, then subscribe to our channel and be a part of the journey with GoLogica and stay connected with the latest videos.